Hello there, and welcome to Her Money Mindset, the podcast where we talk about all things money, mindset, and how our relationship with finances shapes our lives. I'm Courtney Schwangler, and I am so excited to have you here. This podcast is for women who want to take control of their financial futures, transform the way they think about money, and finally break free from any limiting beliefs or fears surrounding their finances. Now, whether you're just starting out on your money journey, you're looking to build wealth, or you want to get clear on your financial goals, this show is for you. Here on Her Money Mindset, we're diving deep into topics like budgeting, saving, investing, and everything in between. But we're not just talking numbers and strategies. We're digging into the real reasons why so many of us struggle with the money in the first place. Our mindset around money plays a huge role in how we handle it, and it's about time we got real with it. So, I will be sharing tips and tools to help you feel more confident in your financial decisions, but we'll also be exploring how your personal history, upbringing, and past experiences with money can influence how you manage it today. It's time to heal that relationship with money and make it work for you. So, if you're ready to shift your mindset, build the life you deserve, and start making money work for you, then you're in the right place. I can't wait to take this journey with you. Now, before we jump into today's episode, let's go over some basics. If you are finally ready to make a difference in your financial life, but you want something self paced, check out my Budgeting Basics bundle. This is a digital pack filled with the exact tools I use to stop living paycheck to paycheck and start feeling confident with my finances. Inside, you'll get my signature budgeting template, a debt payoff tracker, savings challenges, a money mindset reset, an expense audit, and even a 2-week budget bootcamp to help you get back on track and fast. So, if you're ready for a fresh start with your money without the overwhelm, this bundle is low cost and is exactly where I would have you begin. You can grab it now using the link in the show notes and be sure to use code HMM podcast for 15% off. This is an exclusive discount code just for my podcast listeners as a way to say thank you for showing up every single week, 2 times a week, to listen to what I have to say. Now, if you know that you want help with your money and your money habits, but you want something faster than self paced work, personalized, and someone to directly hold you accountable, sign up for private one on one coaching with me. I will have the link in the show notes for you. You can either do a one time one on one strategy call to answer your budgeting basics, get your budget set up, and get you on your way, or you can do my 12-week private coaching program for more accountability, structure, and motivation. Be sure to sign up today for a free consultation call with the link in the show notes. And if you opt for the one on one strategy call, make sure that you use that exclusive podcast discount code, which again is HMM Podcast. That will give you 15% off of the one time one on one strategy call with me. Also, please leave a review of the podcast. This is a great way to tell me and others that you enjoy this podcast. Now, let's dive into today's episode: Money and Marriage: How to Fight Less and Align More. I am so glad that you're here today because we're diving into a topic that so many couples struggle with, but often don't talk about openly, which is money and marriage. Money is one of the leading causes of stress in relationships, and it's also one of the top reasons couples fight or even separate. But here's the truth: it doesn't have to be that way. And now, if you're not married, if you're just dating or you're looking to date, I totally believe that you can find value in this episode as well. So please stay and listen, even if you are not married. So, when you and your spouse learn how to communicate about money, align your goals, and build trust with your finances, this doesn't just reduce fights. This actually strengthens your relationship. So, imagine money being a tool that actually connects the two of you instead of it being a wedge that divides you. So, if you've ever felt like you and your partner are totally on different pages about spending, saving, or debt payoff, today's episode is for you. I'm going to walk you through why money fights happen in the first place, how to shift your mindset so you're on the same team, because of course it would not be a Her Money Mindset episode without money mindset, and some very practical tools that you can use to start aligning your finances and your future together. So let's start with the why. Why is money such a common source of conflict in marriage? Now, first, this is because money is not just numbers on a page. Money is emotional. It represents safety, freedom, power, security, love, all sorts of deep rooted beliefs that we might not even realize that we're carrying around with us. So when two people come together in marriage, or if you're dating someone and you move in together and you are combining some bills, combining some finances, there's two different money stories that are now being brought in to this money equation. So maybe you grew up in a home where money was really, really scarce, and your spouse or your partner grew up in a home where money was spent freely. Or maybe you see money as a way to experience life while your spouse sees money as a way to protect themselves and to save and to be frugal. So this is where the classic spender versus saver dynamic comes in, and one person ends up feeling controlled, the other feels stressed, one wants to enjoy today, the other wants to prepare for tomorrow. And when those differences aren't talked through, they turn into arguments. They turn into arguments. So here's the important takeaway from this. Most money fights aren't actually about the money itself. They're about the meaning behind the money. So please take away this. The first mindset shift that you need is this. You and your spouse, you and your partner are not enemies. You are on the same team. When you argue about money or anything, really, it's easy to slip into the me versus you. Who's right? Who's wrong? Who spent too much money? Who's not being realistic? But that dynamic does not work in marriage. Instead, you need to think of it as us versus the problem. You're not fighting each other, you're fighting the financial stress, the debt, or the lack of a plan. One of the best ways to understand each other better is to talk about your money stories. So ask your partner, what was money like for you growing up? Did you see your parents fight about it? Was money scarce? Was it always available? When you went to the store, were you allowed to buy whatever you wanted because you get a treat? When you hear where your spouse is coming from, oftentimes you'll find that the conversation will get a little bit softer. So it's no longer blaming them for being a spender or a saver. It's about actually recognizing that their perspective was shaped long before your marriage ever even began. So remember, you're not trying to win the argument. I know that might be hard to hear. Trust me, I need to hear it too sometimes, okay? I'm not perfect. You're not trying to win the argument. You're trying to build alignment. You are trying to come on the same page with your partner, okay? So let's talk about some practical tools that will actually help you do that and that will actually help you fight less about money. So the first one, try doing money dates. And I actually recommend doing this even if you're single or even if you are partnered. So set aside some time once a week or every other week to sit down and talk about your finances. This is short and this is structured. This is 20 to 30 minutes max, okay? We're not trying to overwhelm ourselves or burn ourselves out. This is when we're going to review our budget, our bills, and our goals. Make it fun. Get some coffee, grab a glass of wine, treat it like a dessert date. If you're able to, get a babysitter for the kids or put them in front of the TV for a little bit. They can watch a movie while you guys talk about money. Now, you need joint financial goals. So, if you want some good teamwork, you need to have a shared vision. If you guys are not on the same page, if you don't want the same thing, you're not going to work together to make anything happen. You're just going to be competing against each other with your money to try to make your own goal happen. So you need to come together and you need to have a shared vision. You need to have joint financial goals. Maybe it's paying off your credit cards. Maybe it's saving for a vacation. Maybe it's putting extra towards your mortgage. If you follow me on social media, you know that my husband and I are doing that. So, big or small, write those goals down and put them somewhere where you're both going to see them. You can both reference them when things get tough, and you constantly have a reminder of what they are. Now, you need a shared budget. So, sit down and decide on categories together: bills, groceries, savings, debt, and so on. And make sure, like I always say, you need to include fun money for each of you. This is guilt free spending that you don't have to justify to the other person. This little bit of freedom prevents resentment. So, my husband, he loves to buy tools that he may or may not really even need. But guess what? It comes from his personal money, so he can spend it on whatever he freaking wants to. And that's fine because we have an agreed upon amount that we can spend without communicating with the other person, and we can spend it on what we want. So if I want to go get my hair done, I want to get my nails done, I want to buy myself a new planner for my business or whatever it might be, I can do that because we have an agreed upon amount for our fund money that we don't have to justify. And this prevents that resentment, and it prevents just the kind of getting out of the whole concept of frivolous spending and what you need and what you don't need. You don't have to do any of that when you plan for fun money. Now, you need sinking funds. If you have not listened to episode 39, as soon as you are done with listening to this episode, you need to go download episode 39, save it to listen to for later, or if you have the time, listen to it now. Sinking funds are a game changer. This is whether you are single, in a relationship, or married. Instead of fighting every time holidays, birthdays, eating out, home repairs, car repairs come up, you have money set aside ahead of time. That way, when the expense comes up, the money is already there. No arguments, no moving money around, no taking things from your fund money for the month. The point of all of these tools is you're creating clarity with each other and with yourselves, and you're reducing the blame. So, when there's actually a plan for your money, no one feels blindsided or controlled, which can be a huge problem in relationships, especially if one parent, mainly women, is stay at home and they do not bring in an income into the home. So, let's get into the heart of it, which is communication. So, timing matters. This is kind of common sense, but sometimes people just forget about this. Do not bring up money when emotions are high. If your spouse just walked into the door after they had a super stressful day, they had a really hard time at work, they had a client that was just really rude, whatever it might be, that is not the time to ask, why did you spend $200 at Target? No, do not do that. Do not do that. Say, honey, I am so sorry that you had a stressful day. What can I do to help you? Save that question, the why did you spend $200 at Target, if that wasn't a part of fund money and that wasn't agreed upon. Save it for your scheduled money date. Timing matters. Language also matters. Avoid using phrases like, you always waste money, or you never stick to the budget. These are attacking statements. Instead, try, I feel anxious when we overspend because I really want us to hit all our goals, because we're having to rely on our credit cards, because we're taking money out of our sinking funds, whatever it might be. There is a huge difference here. One is building a wall and saying, this is your fault, this is your problem, you're the worst. And the other one is building trust. Hey, I'm coming to you out of a place of love, out of a place of communication, because I value you, I value our relationship, I value our money, and I value our goals. One builds a wall, the other one builds trust. Transparency is huge here, okay? Be open about your income, your debts, and your spending. Keep a shared dashboard, a shared budget, or give each other access to accounts so that nothing feels hidden. Now, let me add a little caveat here. If you are married, yes, I agree with having joint accounts, but I also think that you need to have your own personal accounts for you. So, for example, my husband and I, we have our joint bills account, we have a joint savings account, and then we both have personal accounts that we spend our money out of. If you are not married, I do not recommend having a joint account. I recommend keeping your accounts separate if you're not married. Now, if you plan on being with this person forever and you just don't believe in marriage, maybe things could be a little bit different. Personal finance is personal. You do what feels right for you. I'm just giving you my suggestion. If you're married, I do think that you should have a joint account and you should also have personal separate accounts. If you are not married, I do not think that you should have a joint account. I think that you should keep things separate and split your bills as feels appropriate for you. So, all that being said, secrecy builds mistrust and openness helps you build more connection. So, if you lie about something, you're just putting yourself further and further down a hole of that person not trusting you and eventually resenting you. But if you're open and you communicate, there's likely to be more trust, more communication, and more connection with each other. Now, you need to make sure that you're checking in regularly and not just when something goes wrong. So ask yourself, ask the other person, hey, how are you feeling about where we're at this month? Instead of waiting until you're frustrated to bring it up, communicate early. Don't wait until you're already mad. Don't wait until you're already resentful. Don't wait until you're already frustrated, because then you're going into the conversation with tensions already being high, and that is helping no one. That is helping no one, okay? Now, beyond just the day to day of life, you also need a shared long term vision. So, you guys need to know, where do we want to be in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years? What's our dream lifestyle? Do we want to travel? Do we want to retire early? Do we want to pay off our house? Do we want to build wealth for our kids? Do we want kids? Once you know what your vision is, you can reverse engineer the steps to get there and make sure that you are celebrating your wins and your successes along the way. So if you paid off a credit card, celebrate. If you saved your first $1,000, celebrate. Those wins keep you motivated. And listen, I'm not going to lie to you, so here's the truth. You are going to face setbacks. Unexpected bills will come up. Income may change, but that does not mean that you failed. It just means that you're going to pause, you're going to regroup, refocus, adjust the plan as needed, and you're going to keep going. What you need to not do is you cannot turn those moments into blame games. If an unexpected bill comes up, or if you get a late fee because your husband or your partner forgot to pay something, we're not playing the blame game. We're acknowledging what happened, we're regrouping, and we are moving on. Okay? We're not blaming each other. Now, here's what I want you to take away from this episode. So, you do not have to agree on every single little detail to build a strong financial future with your partner. Being aligned isn't about being perfect, it's about choosing to work together as a team. So, money truly can become a point of connection instead of conflict if you choose to see it that way. It's all about your mindset. If you choose to be negative, negative things will happen. You'll see negative things everywhere. If you choose to be positive and to make the effort, you will reap the rewards of that. You will see positivity, you will be happier, you will be more connected with your partner. Your mindset matters. So here's my challenge to you. Tonight, ask your partner one question. What financial goal excites you the most right now? Just start there. Let that question open the door to better communication, and let's keep things healthy. All right, friend. I really hope that this episode gave you and your partner some practical tools to not only fight less about money, but also to start aligning more as a team. So imagine how much lighter your relationship could be and could feel if money wasn't a constant source of tension. If instead it became something that brought you closer because you were working towards the same dreams, the same goals, the same visions. So, if you're ready to take the next step, here are a few ways I can support you. You can book a one on one strategy call. In just one session, we will create a clear action plan for your money so you and your spouse can move forward with confidence. You'll leave with direction and clarity, knowing exactly what to do next, being on the same page. You can apply for my private coaching program. This is a 12-week program where we go deeper week by week to completely transform your money mindset and systems. You'll go from feeling scattered and stressed to confident and in control, with me guiding you every step of the way. And check out my SoFi high yield savings link in the show notes. This is my favorite tool for building savings and earning more interest than a traditional bank. Every dollar you put into a high yield savings account will earn you interest, and that will put you one step closer to that aligned financial future. And of course, if you loved today's episode, the best way to support the show is by leaving a review. It helps more women find this podcast and start transforming their own money mindset. So, thank you so much for spending this time with me today, and I will see you in the next episode of Her Money Mindset on Tuesday.